To everybody, good morning. I want to wish everyone a very bright, blessed morning here. It's November 20th, and you're on Island Tea. We have in studio myself, Michelina, Charles Hazel.
Oh, he got it right this morning. Right.
I did think about it, and then I watched your shirt.
But Michelina Mills is correct too. It's the first correct.
Yes. I remember Michelina from the Washington Archibald High School, as I said. And, I remember, I think you went in Miss Washi as well, didn't you?
God, you can't read all of the scrolls, but yes, I did.
Yes, I remember. And it was Michelina Mills them times.
Yes, the oldie goldies. But I am still Michelina Mills, technically. Like on my legal documents, my names are like a lot.
I could imagine.
Yes, so I always say if I get married, I'm not going to have another name change. It's just too much.
We also have with us this morning, Jamster. He is on the control panel. As I saw him this morning with all the gadgets and devices back there, I said he's like, the pilot and we're ready to lift off. But unfortunately, his mic's not seem to be working. So if you don't hear him much, but he gets that mic up and rolling. Oh, yes. So I know, sometimes you speak, and so I know if persons didn't hear you, Yes. So we have with us this morning. Oh, we're supposed to have with us this morning Youth Parliament at 8:15. At 8:30 we have Traffic Talk, and at 9:30 we have an interesting group that will be with us. And so it's going to be a very interesting discussion in here, Michelina, this morning. How are you feeling?
I'm lovely. I'm up for the interviews and the engagement. Were you asking Skyniperia?
Yes, I was actually, I started Skyniper at the age of 14. My official induction at 14. I then served as PRO in 2008. And then I served as president 2015 to 2017.
Oh, that's brilliant. I was a Skyniperia as well, but I just can't remember none of it.
You see the reason why I remember Mills so much.
I can't
she was all over the place.
I can't remember any of it. I remember I was a Skyniperia from third form, so that's what, 14, 15?
Yes.
I was in the era with Quentin and Zilla, and that's when, Gian and Zilla and Creos, when those were the bigger ones in sixth form, and we were in high school. I remember that. But I just can't remember. And I stopped Skyniper when I went to university. You could pause your membership and then come back. I just never came back. But I was a Skyniperian for quite a number of years.
I think you were a Skyniperian too during the time. I think we all came in during perhaps the same time. Yeah. Maybe I came in 2004 officially. I had my probation period in 2003. Came in 2004. I think 2004.
I just can't remember. I know I was there, and I remember Azilla being the secretary. I just can't remember.
Okay, if you remember Azilla being the secretary, that means you came in before me. Because by the time I came, Azilla had already left for studies. So, but I remember you being there.
Gavin, it was a whole bunch of us was there. It was a thing though. It was a thing the bright cool kids did. So like if you were in A1, you did Skyniper, but I can't remember anything meaningful. So I'm really happy for the interview. For I see the handsome gentleman over there. He looks like a lawyer like you. He does look kind of lawyerish.
Yes. He is a lawyer.
It's the tie. It's like the FBI white shirt and the black tie. Yes. You guys have a uniform that's not a uniform.
Yes.
So I hope he comes and tell us the remarkable things Skyniper is doing for Youth Month. And we engage and get me excited again.
But I must say that Skyniper, even at my time, we did a lot of remarkable things. I remember during my time, Fadil Aimo, when I came in, was president. Yes, and then Jacqueline Bryant was the vice president
I
at my
remember her
time.
too.
And we did a lot of community activities. Jacqueline worked at WinFM at the time, so a lot of time youth parliament would be on WinFM giving their views on social issues, political issues as well. And that's now we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna get right in with the our first guest from the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association.
Good night, Pop.
Found the sound 98.9
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly talk show which is on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Biff Mills on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Like mine.
Okay, let's see if we can get this thing to work. I did get this thing to work. The question is,
How long will it work?
no, how long will Skype work? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Hey, morning, what's up?
I have, Jalen tells me that you guys are the longest, most productive, active youth group. He's like on and on about Skype all the time. I have to listen how incredible you are.
Yes.
And the youth department, the St. Kitts Youth Department, awarded you guys for something like that recently.
Association of the Year.
Yes, yeah. He doesn't get it.
Yes. And so we have with us the president of the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association, Hassani.
Hello, good morning, everyone listening and viewing this morning's edition of Island Tea. I am Hassani McDonald, and as Azard said, I'm the president of the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association.
Mm-hmm. And so, Hassani, tell us, we spoke with the youth parliament, I think it was a time last month, and we spoke about the event that youth parliament co-organized.
Yes.
And the debate. But there is something coming up again. So tell us, what is the youth parliament doing?
So this coming Thursday, we are planning to host a youth forum. It's been an activity that we have been putting on consistently for at least the last 3 years. No doubt there would have probably been different series of youth forums that the association would have put on, but we have consistently made this one of our flagship events for our annual year. And so we are hosting a youth forum, and this year's theme will be Youth in Action, Nurturing Green Skills for Tomorrow's Leaders. This theme was selected primarily because, as an association, this year we've decided to adopt climate action as one of our focus points, and so a lot of our activities will be centered around climate action and how can we influence better practices within our environment. And it's also in line with St. Kitts and Nevis transforming into a sustainable island state. So it's getting that youthful perspective that can add to the government's agenda for their transformation. So far, we have confirmed guests in the persons of Mr. Stuart Laplace, we have Mr. Clyde Richardson, Miss Tricia King, we have Melicia Henry, and we have Clement Jomo Williams. Thus far, we possibly may have 2 other persons, but these are our confirmed guests thus far, and we look forward to a very interesting topic as the various guests explore how their different sectors can influence green practices, how we can call the youth to action, how we can diversify the workspace, upcoming youth and their career paths that they take to assist our island in that transformation. Because while it is a transformation, it is indeed a process. And so we understand that while the work may start now, some things may start manifesting later on. And we also understand that we may not have everything it takes to fully transform just yet. And so we want the youth to come on board with this initiative, one that we think is a really good one, and support the action.
So let me
Just 1 second, Mr. President. I didn't hear a teacher. And you're talking about youth?
We are soliciting the assistance of someone to represent education. Not specifically a teacher, but one that could speak to education and how we can diversify the curriculum to assist persons with this transformation and no longer have persons select the regular lawyer, doctor, engineer, but let's have someone who can perhaps specialize in agro processing and all those creative
Thank you very much,
workspaces.
but I'm specifically asking for the teacher because the curriculum designer or developer is removed from the classroom and curriculum implementation must be engineered or engined by the teacher. And that's almost always a tense experience.
I don't disagree with the point that the curriculum should be engineered based on the teacher's perspective, but I would imagine that the education officials have stakeholders that they would speak to, that they will consult with as they make these different transformations and adjustments to the curriculum. So while I understand the need for having that teacher present, we have the education. We're making it broader because we understand that there are different stakeholders involved in education, and we understand also that teachers play a major role. So we are hoping that the education officials that we can attain to sit on this panel will be able to give us that perspective.
So you prefer the education person, you guys chose the education person over the teacher?
It's not a choice of what we chose. It is that is who we would engage.
So let me ask you a question
Okay.
about the attendance, because it is young people. How has preparation been in getting young people to this forum?
Well, in the past years, we have had tremendous outpour of support from the schools, from young persons within the community. The halls have always been packed, and so we don't expect it to be any different this year. Young persons, in my opinion, they are looking for that outlet. They're looking for that opportunity to participate in activities, and I think Scanaipo usually offers them that viable option.
Mm-hmm. I know that during the month of November too, the youth parliament often, if not a staple event, the
Yes.
youth parliament parliamentary sitting.
Yes.
Is that going to be done as well?
That will also be done this week. On this Friday, we will be debating single-use plastic, a ban on single-use plastic. So we have a draft bill that our members will be debating. We're also inviting the presence of some debaters from Nevis as well. So it will be a collaborative effort between St. Kitts youth parliamentarians and Nevis youth parliamentarians, so that they can lend their voice again to this trending topic of ban on single-use plastics. As, of course, our group, we are passionate about issues affecting our nation and the region at large, and so we think that this is a very timely topic, and it is, again, in keeping with our commitment to climate action.
Mm-hmm. Miss Charles Azell.
I'm here and I'm listening to climate action towards sustainability, but the concept of sustainability is quite diverse, and a lot of it has to do with human life, equity, etc. St. Kitts and Nevis is experiencing a crime boom, and crime is happening among youth, the youth population. I think we had 2 murders in less than a week. I can't say perpetrated by who, but the victims were young people. As a part of the sustainable agenda, for me, plastic is deadly, but human life is precious. Is the crime mitigation, crime intervention, is that at all on Scanaipa's agenda as a part of aligning with the government sustainable.
Well, that has always been a part of Scanaipa's agenda, even before we adopted climate action. In recent times, once we saw the increase or the surge of criminal activities affecting the youth, we did publish a statement asking persons to cease and desist from engaging in those kind of activities. And of course, just existing as an association and giving persons the opportunity to occupy their free time with something constructive, we operate as a way as a means of diverting persons' energy from criminal activities into something more productive. And of course, yes, I understand that youth are affected and we all have a part to play. And so as we continue with our action, we do try to influence persons, not to take that path, but to take a more constructive path. So it has always been on our agenda. If it has been our focus, we do what we can at that point. But as I said, climate action is something that we would have adopted as our main focus this year. Of course, I understand. I take your point about youth and how crime affect youth and its sustainability, and that's something we can perhaps work into our focus. Once we are able to.
Okay.
Yes. Very interesting questions posed by Charles Azard.
I'm all about crime, and I think the sustainable island state is being voiced as a very myopic thing, the plastic bag in the environment, and I'm not about people coming for my plastic bag. I really like it. I know that might be a bit icky to say that I like my plastic bag, but I do like my scandal bag as a Caribbean person, if I'm honest. Like, I have like a whole heap of them under my cupboard that I use. And that is who I am. I'm a Caribbean woman. 98% of our homes are run like that, you know? But for me, this is sustainable.
We have to encourage you and try to transform.
And you too, Azard, the plastic bag. Stop it.
So
We all have the plastic bag.
Perhaps you should tune into our debate and hear the viable options that exist to swap out the plastic bag and single-use
I
ban.
think to change behavior, because as a teacher, as an educator, the skill of educators is to change behavior. Learning does not occur until behavior changes. And to change behavior to single plastic use, that is the skill of the teacher. That is what we do. The very definition of education is changing behavior. That is why I was asking for that expert, because my job, my industry is youth, changing behavior of youth.
So you're saying only the teacher can influence the change?
No, I'm saying that is my primary skill.
Your primary skill.
I engage, as well as the nation of teachers, at least 100 young people a day. Okay. There is no one else, I think, that does have that much contact time and focus on behavior change on a number of topics. So, for example, the science teacher, how does he or she bring the science class to that event or even to Parliament as a part of learning in community, and then use that experience as a part of teaching? That is what I was speaking to. The education official doesn't have that access. They could make the demand, they could make the recommendation, but the teacher has direct access to the young people, the young minds, and the skill of the teacher is to change behavior. But
so you agree with me that the teachers are stakeholders for education officials?
I don't think we're stakeholders. I think we're the engine, the very heart of education.
Stakeholders are often described as engine.
Yeah, I like with special stakeholders. I'm a bit biased, like a lot biased.
I hear it.
So guys,
I had to nice it up.
So Hassani, the youth parliament. So tell me, what are the other activities that you want to focus on this morning as it relates to the activities of the youth parliament?
Well, those two that I discussed, which are the youth forum and the upcoming youth parliament debate, those are our focus for this week. We also have an internal activity that we will be doing, just creating a mural for our association, just to signify, as like, if you have to visit our secretariat, you would be what is that? What does that represent? And you will be we will be able to say, well, this is our commitment to climate action. If I may also mention, last week we had an open day. It would have been the first of its kind, I think, in Scanaipa's history, where we invited persons into one of our general meetings, just to give them a taste of what we offer, and that, of course, was tremendously supported by the young people. So we look forward to the continued support of the young persons for all of our activities geared towards them.
I want to thank you this morning, Hassani, as we wrap this segment up. I want to say thank you for being here this morning and sharing with us the activities of the Youth Parliament. I want to say kudos to the Youth Parliament and encourage the Youth Parliament to continue the good work as it continues to show support to young people, especially in nation building.
Thank you very much.
And you did an excellent job defending the positions or extrapolating the importance of single-use plastic bag and sustainability from the environmental agenda. I do continue to encourage you to extrapolate the concept of sustainability to other youth issues. Congratulations.
Thank you very much also.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Well, it's 8:30. We've got Traffic Talk coming up next. It's brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down.
8:32 and Traffic Talk is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance, and we've got the inspector on that. Good morning, Inspector.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, son. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yes, we have Traffic Talk this morning. And Inspector, do tell us the topic for this morning. Share with the listening audience.
Good morning to all. This morning topic will be the importance of wearing appropriate headgear, the helmet. Last week I mentioned that we had about 57 accidents involving motorcyclists, but this week it's now gone to 61. The last one was Saturday night. 61 accidents. 61 what? Yes, involving motorcycles.
Wait, say that again. We had 61 accidents this week?
A total for the year.
Oh, for the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, I said this morning topic will be the importance of wearing appropriate headgear.
Mm-hmm.
Wearing a helmet reduces the risk of serious head, brain injuries, and death, because during a fall or a collision, most of the impact energy is absorbed by the helmet rather than your head and brain. It doesn't matter how experienced you are, anything can happen at any time. An accident is an unforeseen occurrence. It is not planned. It can happen at any spur of the moment. Helmets are designed to absorb the impact from crashes and protects the rider or driver's skull from grinding against the road when ejected from the bike. So, once you fall from the bike and you don't wear your helmet, you know what happened. One will suffer less harm when your head hits a vehicle, a tree, or a road if you are wearing the appropriate safety gear at the time of the crash. Because the brain is so soft, it can be damaged, one, by contact with the inside of the skull, and any impact, injury to the neck area can damage the spinal cord. And of course, once your spinal cord is damaged, you will be paralyzed.
Yeah. So it is really important that persons hear this message. They take in this message as well, because the repercussions of not wearing a helmet and getting involved in a serious accident, it's likely, because things happen, especially if you're not wearing your helmet, and it's likely that it would cause some sort of impact on your body in a negative way.
That is so true, because from the last 2 bike accidents, what I've realized that the persons weren't wearing their helmet and they were disoriented. They don't even know where they are. They don't know what is happening, all because they wasn't wearing the helmet and their head had contact with the ground.
Yeah, and we've seen the videos via social media where many times these accidents involving the drivers of motorcycles not wearing helmet, and the drivers are basically discarded from the motor vehicle and the motorbike, and they're on the ground and they're pitched to a distance, and not wearing the helmet really causes damage to that head. And our head is very important, because in our heads contain our brain, and our brain is basically the engine room of the body.
That is so true. And we all know that once you're paralyzed, sometimes you may not be paralyzed, but you have brain injuries and you become a vegetable, which you are no help for yourself.
And as you said, with the paralyzed, with the spine, the damage to the spine is very important as well.
That is so true.
Yes.
The most protective, wearing appropriate headgear acts like the buffer for your head and the ground. It will absorb all the shock or impact while safeguarding the skull. As we're saying, wear the appropriate headgear. If you fall, the helmet protects the skull.
Mm-hmm.
The most protective part of the helmet is the shell, that outer piece. It does the most important job. It absorbs the force and the impact by cushioning the scalp so they stay protected. Because inside the helmet is a lot of cushion-like material. And once that...
I've never put on a helmet.
Well, I'll introduce you to one.
But you've never rode...
Oh, but I have.
You have?
Of course.
By yourself?
Not by myself, but to the back as a hot girl, right?
So that means, so you bring us to the case that you don't wear helmets.
Yes.
Once you're a pillion rider, you're supposed to wear helmets.
Back then, before, being on traffic talk, before, I was reckless and a rebel. Now I know better.
Okay, so that
But
was...
back in my hot girl days, yeah.
Oh, that was the hot girl days. Mm-hmm. Okay, then. Because I know that, the helmet is necessary, and you would advocate for the helmet
Definitely.
right now.
I'm a changed human being. Change hot girl.
And as she said, hot girl, as up to Saturday, I was there directing traffic, and we had the road block, and the cycle man, he gonna come through, and I trying to talk to him, and the hot girl just skin up. She have on no helmet.
Yeah.
And
yep, to the back. Pan shot.
Short.
Yeah. You need your bike tight and you hold on tight and you lean down, right? But I'm a changed human being.
But when you lean down and you fall, there is where
we don't think about them things.
Okay.
I'm just being honest. I'm being honest.
So the hot girls have the reckless lifestyle.
Well, they're following the
I don't
driver.
think it's we have the reckless lifestyle. I think we have the foolish end of the stick, because generally the driver has on a helmet and a jacket if you're going for long rides, etc. But we are just not as responsible.
And often, more than not, when there's a collision, if you analyze almost, the accidents, it's usually the passenger that gets it worse. The driver sometimes leave an accident almost unharmed, whereas the passenger suffers from the brunt of the collision.
But in hearing the conversations, I am definitely learning a lot more, and in learning, changing my behavior to becoming a lot more responsible in how I use the road. That was definitely when I, was younger. Colin have a bike, but he don't use it as much. So.
But Carly, you guys ticket people for not wearing helmets now, or even not? Because I know some guys like to look cool. I've seen guys they have the helmet on, right? But they have it, okay, they're doing this, like the helmet is back on their head like this. like back like that. Just trying to look cool. You know how you turn a basketball cap backwards?
Yeah.
To look cool? I've seen guys, and in front of the police station, with the helmet on the back of their heads like that and unpinned. So do you guys actually...
Yes, we do, but you must recognize and also be aware that motorcycle are one of the smallest vehicle. And sometimes when you try to stop them there, that was the case on Saturday. Because
he just maneuver you.
Maneuver, and it's no way I'm gonna jump out, or
Mm-hmm.
So I got the number.
Abandoned post.
I got the number, and I would try reach out to that owner. Some advantages of wearing a helmet are: one, it safeguards the driver from traumatic brain injury, from concussions, facial fractures. I know you see some persons with their face scar and permanent scars.
The break foot. Oh no, that ain't got nothing to do with helmet, but yeah, go ahead.
Shattered jaws, ears and eye damages, and permanent disfigure of the face and scarring.
Mm-hmm.
And that do happen.
So I think,
And these are some of the advantage of wearing.
As Michelina speaks about the hot girl days, I think those persons, when you hear about face scarring, when you hear about damage to your jaw, I would think that the hot girls wouldn't want that to happen to them.
But we are not in a mind space where we are cautious or responsible. You think you're inevitable. That is why you think you're invincible. Mm-hmm. Most young people think that we're invincible. That's why the traffic accident rate is going up, because we're careless in almost everything we do. You drive fast, you drive reckless. Speed is, invigorating. But now I know better, I do better, but I can't abandon the truth about myself. As a hot girl, I had the short pants and so on the bike.
And some disadvantages of not wearing the helmet are lack of protection for the face and jaws,
yes,
increased risks of injury to the neck and spine. And you may not believe it, but Jamsa just said it. Some persons are not wearing the proper size helmet. So you find it's uncomfortable, and they have it, as he said, like a upturn basketball cap.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yes, so so sometimes they are discomfortable on their feet. So you must wear the correct size. That is important as well.
And they have different types of helmet. Like, I think if I'm to wear a helmet, or what, you ever see those people on the moped?
Well, I wouldn't consider that as a helmet.
In a helmet?
Appropriate gear. The appropriate gear, you must reach down that it could support. Even if you fall, the back of your neck is supported. I look at that as a upside down bowl or putty, something. So whenever I come into contact with them, I advise them to get the proper helmet.
You have a call. Traffic Talk, you're on here. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Peace to everyone.
Good morning.
I must say, the topic you all having is a good one. Congratulations to the inspector bringing out the information. However, it is not a new one. In my day, it used to happen. People used to wheelie, to stunt. I had a motorcycle myself, but the stunts I used to do because I had a dirt bike. I go in the mountain where nothing. If I fall, I get a scrape. But it was not in the traffic. However, because it is not new, therefore the information that my good friend, the police officer, are giving are not necessarily new. And that's the next thing. So what is the common denominator here? Persons just going contrary to the law. And that's it. And if we really sit down it is not just the police to talk to these people, because the police cannot be everywhere, because the population of the police compared to that of the country, a complete different thing. It's a small figure. And therefore it takes everyone. Because remember, it is not just the rider and the motorcycle and the driver is at risk. I don't know if you all remember, person in the house, but I can think if they just get injured in their house. What I'm saying, everyone is at risk when those persons being careless or having fun. It's just last night I was watching a video on TV, but those roads in the US and those countries are bigger, wider, and even there, the police try to get these persons. So what I could say I'm going to do now is to call upon the persons with not only the motorcycles, but every vehicle, be it pedal bike, roller skate, whatever it is, to use them carefully, not just for other persons, but for their own life. I would have known persons who lost a leg on motorcycle. I know persons who break many bones in their bodies just from wheeling and slamming into a wall. But you know what the sad thing is? When they accidentally hit someone, or we might call it accident, I don't know, right? But that person would have lost a limb, lost a life, and it cannot come back because of someone just believe he has a right, she has a right to do what they're doing, but not realizing that other persons have a right not to be hit or put in danger by them. I want to remind persons where the traffic laws are, I don't know, the inspector could go more into it, are actually strict liability, meaning you are guilty before you're proven innocent. You, the rider, or the person who infringed the traffic laws have to prove why you shouldn't be ticketed or summoned. It is completely different to the common law situation, where you're going to only want to maybe hit someone where you are innocent until proven guilty. Because the thing is, so that person will be mindful of that. Drive carefully on our roads. Be courteous as well. What you would like for yourself, try to give to others. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope the persons who are actually doing these things, I would have touched them to let them know. Be careful, because the life they save might be their very own. Thank you very much. God bless you all. God bless you.
Okay. Thank you, Pell. I realize our caller, he mentioned strict liability. Just to clarify, with strict liability means that intention is not necessary. So there is no requirement of mens rea. Once it is that you are guilty, so to speak, of the action, your intention is not required. So it doesn't matter whether or not you intended for something to happen. It's what happened. The action is what is the main focus, because there is no requirement for mens rea. I think that he was trying to make the differentiation between that and where it is that a situation where you have an offense and then you have to have the mens rea and the actus reus. But there is...
And let's just define that for the common man. Mens rea is the thought.
And actus reus is the act.
Action.
Yes.
So you have to think about the action.
The act,
if you don't
the thought of the act and the act must coincide.
Yes. And so if you don't think about the action, you can, like, I push her down, but I didn't mean to push her down.
Well, it's mainly intention. So the thought is intention. And so you are still, you're still at the court, it's still the term, you are still innocent, presumed innocent until yes. It's just that with district liability, there's no requirement for intention.
Yes, and so sometimes, well, as you know, all traffic offenses are strict liability. And you find that some persons, when you are ticketing them, they would say, Officer, but man, stop. They already, Officer, man, park up on the yellow line. I just stopped to collect something. But the offense already been committed. Mm-hmm. All right? And I spoke of the helmet and motorcycle for the past week because motorcycle are on the rise. Every week we register maybe about 5 motorcycles. Yes, that's one of the leading set of vehicles that is being sold on the island, motorbikes. Yes.
For locals?
Of course. So we have the younger community there investing heavily on motorbikes.
Wow.
So I guess there are many, biker boys out there, and also the hot girls.
I think young women are a lot more responsible. Mm-hmm. A lot of young women drive their own cars now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
If you want to be a hot girl, it's just recreational.
I
you don't
just
need
playing
to
on
be
the hot girl term that you gave this morning.
But it is very important that persons, like we call a call, he went
Yes.
really in depth, and how persons are listening and person have more ideas to call in and give their views. Because what he said, it's really serious. It's serious.
And as he has indicated, they talk about the helmets and using a helmet. It's nothing new. So persons, they hear of it, they know of it, and they still choose not to wear one. And you look at it, even in workplaces too, where it is that persons are involved in risky acts, such as, might be welding and all of these things, constructions, and so you advise to wear, the safety goggles, safety wear and stuff like that. And there are often persons who go in and do these type of work and don't wear any safety
I think it's
wear.
culture. A lot of what we do and don't do is because of how we are culture and the culture that we are abiding. He said something that was very catchy and very informative. You wear the helmet because the life you save might be your own. A lot of us don't understand why we wear the helmet. And as an educator, I can tell you, you take for granted the things you think people know. The simplest of things people don't know,
And I think I take the point too, where you're young and you feel as though you have this.
I just want to have fun. May I want to kill nobody. May I want to get into an accident. I just want to have fun. And I am not thinking in wanting to have fun. There is a risk that is increasing when I don't put on the helmet. Man, that's smart.
And also too, the point that you made, I think that's a valid one earlier, when you said that when you're young, you feel as though you're invincible. Because when I was younger, it's your 20s, the teens, for me, I never used to think about death in terms of actually having a time where you actually, would pass. And as older you get to think about, things happening, and, you think about your own mortality. And so when you're younger, you don't have these thoughts. You think that you're here forever. And so maybe it is that these young people, they feel
we're
as though
just
they're
not
invincible.
thinking. You think that we're thinking, but we're not thinking. And it's not thought that got me to, exit the bike life. One day I went to visit my mom in Antigua. This cool guy come around. I went on the bike, tell nobody where I'm going. Went on a nice ride. When I come back to some licks, some crapper licks, because who you be to get up and go on a bike? Wise to tell your father if you don't come back. And that was it for me on the bike. That was it. It was nothing. It was, I want them licks like that.
But as a young person, one of the problem, they don't like to adapt to changes. And the law say wear your helmet.
Don't read the law.
And that's why when we catch them, we deal with them. You understand? And I would tell you sometimes, I'd smile when the magistrate hand down his sentence, because that is weird. That is the only time I think they really understand what is going on.
I think so too, because again, it's illegal to wear a helmet. You're assuming that we read the law, or we could read to understand the law. I mean, like, when you're teaching comprehension in some of these 5th and 4th form classes, the things they don't understand. Imagine reading the law and then reading the law to understand the law. So, yes, sometimes the way for us to learn is by consequence, but we don't know a lot of things that you think we should know when we're 21 and 19 and 15 and sometimes 28. We do not know a lot of the things that we should know. And so that is why traffic talk is so important. Because, Inspector, when you come on here, you're teaching the country. It's important. Don't take for granted the thing that you're doing. It's not just entertaining, it's important. People in the cars listening, mothers listening, bikers listening, girlfriends listening, other police officers listening, because a lot of us cannot pick up the law to read it and understand what the law is saying. And we're just not sensible.
So I conclude today, a safety helmet protects you against vein rupture inside your head. It helps you avoid unconsciousness, and it prevents the formation of blood clots in your brain at a later stage in your life. A helmet is an essential piece of equipment that it will save your head, eyes, and spinal cord from going into trauma. It has now become clear that wearing a helmet is utterly important for your own safety and well-being. The only thing that can save you from a head injury or a brain damage is the appropriate headgear, the helmet. So, we all know, as our caller said, the life you save can be your own. Bikers, riders, always wear your helmet. That's what protects your main part of your body, the head and the brains.
Amen.
So hopefully persons listening are better informed, more informed, and would take the necessary precautions as they, think about riding that bicycle. Even
bicycle and
bicycles
helmet, yes.
too, yes, because that is equally important. So even the motorbike, the bicycles, because we've been talking about motorbikes, but also bicycles as well, because you can fall off, you can get injured.
Or you can get knocked off.
Anything
and if you
can
get
happen.
knocked off and you have on your helmet.
And then, with most of the bike accident, what we recognize is driver's error. Most of the time, drivers ever
You
either
said
want
something last time. You said a lot of us, well, not us being on a bike, eh? You said a lot of the drivers don't know how to use your bike. That was scary.
Yes, because I that's how I see it. I might be wrong, but some persons probably feel as though you can just jump on a motorcycle the way as you ride a normal bike. But with a motorcycle, you have gears. Some of them have gears, and you have to know them, because I actually see a guy and I just see the bike jerk. So I work out, okay, you have gears. So you have, before you, just like a car, before you go behind the wheel, you must know your vehicle. You must understand your vehicle. And I say, a bike, trust me, you could, as soon as you fall, you could slide. So you must know your vehicle.
I thought that was very, very, very important. So to us hot girls out there that, to the back of bikes, make sure before you jump on the bike, he could ride the bike. Because if he can't ride the bike, he putting you at risk of becoming injured. And Christmas coming, and we want to cut up.
We have a call. It's 8:56. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I do not know if this subject has been addressed earlier. If so, I apologize. I just tuned in. But I want to use this forum to express my great disappointment with, I should call it, government departments in concert with the traffic department, or I should say governmental entities in concert with the traffic department. On Friday afternoon, I was traveling west along Keon Street, and having passed Westbourne Street, I suddenly found myself facing a no entry sign, meaning I could not continue up Keon Street. And why was this? Because at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, an event was going to take place at Greenlands Park and and its extensions. No notice was given to the public that the Island Main Road will be closed a full 24 hours before an event was to begin. The motoring public is being treated with disdain, disrespect, disregard by the authorities. The notion that streets and roads can be just closed off without prior notice. I'm sure Ministry of Tourism or whichever government department was involved knew days, weeks ahead what they were going to do. They advertised the event, but no one said the Island Main Road, not a street, the Island Main Road was going to be closed off for an entire 24-hour period prior to an event. That is not good enough. And I know, I don't ask, I don't believe, I don't guess, I know we will continue to have these kinds of disregards for the rest of the year as we approach the heat of the carnival season and all of the events that will be taking place, that all over Bastia and other parts of the island, we are going to be suffering these inconveniences without notice. That is the most important part, without prior notice. I trust that those who can influence differing the behavior may listen to this plea, listen to this beg, listen to this implore, But I do not hold out hope because I've done this every year and nothing changes. One gets platitudes, one gets told, oh, it's only for Carnival, it's only for Christmas, it's special. Motorists use the road 365 days of the year, pay their taxes for use of the road 365 days of the year. Motorists deserve far better than the treatment they've been getting. Thank you very much. May you have a wonderful, productive, hard-working week.
Thank you so much for your call.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Inspector?
Okay, probably he didn't listen to ZIZ, but when I was on ZIZ on Wednesday, I did mention that the Greenlands area, that road, the section between Westbourne Gut and Fines Avenue would have been blocked because of some activities by the tourism department. So indeed, sir, probably we heard not to send it to Win FM and the other radio station, but it was announced.
Not probably. Absolutely heard.
We heard. So in the future,
We still
we'll have
love you,
that
though.
correct.
We still love you, though. Don't worry.
Yes, so I think that's a note to conclude our segment this morning on Traffic Talk. It's 9 o'clock. We're going to take a short break and get back.
All right.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Baby, just slip a sable under the tree for me. Been an awful good girl, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight.
This is your official invitation to the conscious party.
Get conscious, get down to business every Wednesday with Conscious Business. Join the Conscious Musical Reasoning with Select the Highest, strictly positive and conscious music on Conscious Business on WINNFM 98.9, winfm.com. Vibes include Business Education Corner, Business Quote of the Day, Agriculture Time, and Mama Love Chat of the Day.
Mama, I don't ever want to see you cry.
Conscious Business is brought to you by Like New Steam Cleaning. You too can get exposure and awareness for your business when you call WinFM's sales department to advertise here. Conscious Business is positive growth.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Unbox big Black Friday savings with up to 40% off at Pandora Jewelry. Treat yourself to some sparkle or get started on your gift list. Shop November 18th through 28th and save up to 40% on jewelry for the holidays. Only at Pandora Jewelry. Offer valid only at participating Pandora retailers. Exclusions apply. See store for details.
Noble Jewelers, located at Port Zante. Call us at 466-2849.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring, ding, jingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
4 minutes after 9 o'clock, and Island Tea continues. AZ had to take off for court. And
Hi, James.
yeah, so what's going to happen now? Both of us are going to hold court.
Oh. I'm listening to the song. I think this is the first Christmas song I've heard for this season.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't have a radio at home.
Oh, okay, that's not good. Need
So
to get
this
a
is the
radio.
first Christmas song, and I'm here jiggling. I'm like
Yeah.
jamming in the studio. What's your favorite Caribbean kitchen Christmas
Oh.
ritual? What's your favorite
Oh,
Christmas ritual?
Let me see. Let me see what I like. I'm thinking. Well, one thing I used to like, they don't do it so much now. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love the Christmas Eves when you'd go downtown.
Oh my God! When everybody was in town.
Yes, and the stores would be open really late. I
Until
used
like
to-
12 o'clock
yes,
and 1
I used
o'clock.
to really like that.
And you save up your little money
Yes,
and buy your sweetheart a gift.
Yeah, well, didn't have any sweetheart then.
You
but
didn't have a sweetheart, Jamster.
not when I was a kid, no.
Okay.
hmm
What?
I didn't get hot and cool until I became an adult.
Okay, I completely
Okay.
understand.
Uh-huh.
What do
I was a dog.
I was a sexy nerd. I was a sexy nerd. What do I like about Christmas? I think Christmas is my least favorite holiday.
Really?
It
Why?
is. I don't like it. I think I don't like it because of the Caribbean rituals imposed on the girl. The house cleaning. I absolutely hate the house cleaning. And because I hate the house cleaning, I associate the house cleaning with Christmas. Like, why are we doing all of this nonsense? You know, I came from the era where you had like 1,000 ornaments and you had to wash them. And
If it makes you feel any better, I cleaned the shower last night.
I did that on Saturday.
Okay.
It was
But I
quite
cleaned
quite
my
a
shower,
workout.
so,
I think
Yeah, it
shower
does.
cleaning is a good business opportunity. Anybody want to like start a
Mhm.
business, just offer shower cleaning.
But you know, I felt so good afterwards because it's just everything just so sparkling, clean
Yeah.
glass and everything. And all
I don't like house cleaning though, and I definitely did not like Christmas cleaning. And so I associated Christmas cleaning with Christmas Day. It was just a lot of stress, a lot of cooking, a lot of fussing. But what I liked about it, the ritual I like about it, is the no school vacation.
Yeah, I can't think of any other ritual per se. Most of it has gone to the wayside, I think.
And Christmas ritual that I like tied into Carnival, I used to like Nega Business. That's a performance
Oh,
art.
yeah, I remember
That's
that,
almost
yeah.
dead now.
I
Nega
remember that.
Business with
Yeah, you don't-
Thunder over Market Street.
Yes.
I really love Nega Business. Yeah, man.
What? I remember that. the
Remember
Market
Thunder
Street.
over Market
No, but
Street?
I don't remember that name Thunder, but I remember
Thunder was
seeing
a
it.
leader in the
Okay.
Nega Business performance art. He's over Newtown from time to time.
Okay.
Anybody remember Nega Business or any of the?
Want to take a call?
For sure. Good
Hi,
morning.
caller.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, stay on
And
the
good morning
stay.
to the listeners home and abroad.
Yes,
Carl Brown here.
stay on the reservation now. Let's go.
Yes. Well, you guys forget that during the Christmas season, when you're home, different church and different groups used to come and sing by your house.
Oh, the Caroline.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
That seems to gone. Well, last year, a group, a young lady with A number of children came all to Shadwell doing that, and some adults, and it was very, very good.
I think Zion Moravian carols.
Yeah.
Zion Moravian carols. I think the Catholic Church carols.
I think
I think Newtown has a group that carols as well.
That
So ain't
used to be
dead.
the super thing. All family. That time you had all family living together. The grandmother, the auntie, the mother, the sister, the brother, the uncle, and everybody sit at home waiting for these groups to come to sing from door to door throughout the whole night. And they went right down into the 4 the morning doing that.
True. I think we'll find, right, Mishi, that most of the rituals that we're discussing now, and like what that Carl mentioned, most of them have gone to the wayside. Because
and not only that, those who had animals used to kill the animals and chuck salt on it and nail it on the side of the house.
To dry it out?
Enough wood.
Yeah, the corn.
To dry it out. Oh, corn it. That's what
We used to call it you corn the meat, and we used to do that with a lot of the pig meat.
I've never seen that, Carl.
Yeah.
I've never
Girl,
seen
that was
meat
good.
being
When you
corn.
I've seen my mother do it.
The worms, you have to bang it on the side of the house for the worms them to come out.
Oh gosh, and you eat it? You cook it after you see the worm
That
them?
is sweeter than the meat that the pork meat they have now.
And you got bang it on board house end?
Yes.
Oh my god.
The big stone you see down in the yard, you have to bang it on that for the worms them to come out.
Oh gosh.
I think all of the charm and kind of romance.
And not only that, you had to throw out some rice or some corn, and you set a string, and when the fowl them come, you lap them, and you have to chop off the head, or you hold it in your hand and you spin it till the head come off in your hand.
I remember that. I didn't do it, but I remember seeing people do it.
And the fowl will jump from here to all along Market Street if you don't go for it.
And Carl, I grew up very poor, so we used to go jungle sale over by the girls' school to get your nice clothes to go downtown. So I remember jungle sale in the early morning to get your second hand
They used to have lots of that.
Second hand.
And then what we missed too is all like now we used to have all the clown, the maca. Well, you didn't have maca jumby those days. The masquerades and the nigger business coming round to your house at night time.
I used to like
and
the
give them
nigger
a little
business.
change.
Yes, I used to
That
like
gone
the
to the
nigger
window and the
business.
door.
I remember.
used to like
Hey, Carl, you remember when before the cable building was built and the Udenbergs lived there on the corner? And
Yes.
for some reason, I used to like to stand there and see the troops. The folklore.
That was a big thing,
bands
and her
perform.
landing used to be full with. That's the only time we see a lot of people by Miss Newtonburg. It's Christmas time.
Yes, and then people throw their money.
And on the farm, the late Governor General landing too.
Yeah, that too.
So Cuthbert Sebastian.
Yeah. So, but Carla, I feel like a lot of the really sentimental and romantic part of Christmas is gone because Christmas has been subsumed by Carnival.
You know what I like too? We're very modern.
Technology and to modern now.
I like the church concerts. So when Miss Ward put on a concert in the Anglican church, brilliant.
Yeah.
The bells, the singing, the caroling, that cozy feeling.
All right, guys.
Okay, let's take another call. Caller, go right ahead. Okay, I guess that person will call back. It's on 912, and we are discussing
Caribbean Kitchen Christmas.
Caribbean Kitchen Christmas.
What's your favorite Caribbean Kitchen Christmas food?
Food. Okay, hold that thought. We have a call. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning. In response to the inspector comments concerning the closure of the road, the impression I got from her is that she's saying, well, look, I announced it on another radio station, and if you didn't hear it, that's your problem.
No, she apologized. She did not say that's your problem.
No. Listen. I got the impression she is saying due to the fact that she mentioned it somewhere else and you didn't hear it, it is your problem. But I did mention it. That's not the way to treat the public. She admits she heard and she should left it there. To give the impression, well, I did it here and you didn't hear it, is your problem. Look at it from that standpoint.
I completely appreciate your perspective, but the bigger picture of to protect and to serve, and the fact that she admitted, okay, we only did it on ZIZ and that is not good enough. I'm going to give her and the department the benefit of the doubt to, okay, they fall short. I'm going to extend some grace and hold them accountable to doing better and getting the information out to more stations, more frequently, and ahead of time to inform the public. But I was here with her, the inspector, and she admitted fault.
She did, yeah.
And so to that, I can only give her grace. There goes I, but for the grace of God.
Okay.
Good morning.
Oh, hi, caller, go right ahead.
Hi, Johnson. Good morning, and good morning to you,
Hey.
co-host. Yes, it was interesting having a conversation with our sisters and brothers from the Windward Island, because whereas we are talking about the carol leading up to probably the 24th or the 23rd or those days, in the Windward Island, like St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they have something that is called 9 mornings.
Yeah.
And you're familiar with the
yeah, in St. Lucia, I know it's, yeah, I've heard about
I know
that.
9 mornings and 9
events-
nights.
Yes, there are events that lead up to that. So that is a very interesting perspective, a different angle, because the variance in the Caribbean, be it we are in the English-speaking, the French-speaking, the Spanish-speaking communities, islands, there are some things that are still intact, whereas we would have lost some of it in St. Kitts, or they would have lost some of it in their respective territories, but the fabric and the foundation of it remains, and we hope that it redounds to education. A part of the tradition, it redounds to education, the purpose, the meaning, the younger youth, because they may not see the relevance of upholding it and carrying it on. But were they to be educated in it, I think they will find more meaning, more essence to it. And it was interesting to hear about the 9 morning tradition. It's all inculcated of the wholeness of a family. I said a family, irrespective of our departed mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers. There still was a part of the family. And it seems that the 9 morning tradition inculcates that extended family, because they would have laid the foundation for what we are carrying on, and their whispered voices still resonate in terms of we not being deviant and walking a straight path. So I just thought that was an interesting perspective. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, caller. Yeah, I've heard about the way they do things down in St. Lucia and so on. And Trinidad, they had the puncheon and the pastel
And parang.
and the parang. Oh,
There's
yeah,
a
sweet
particular
parang.
music. I think parang is Trinidadian and
Venezuela,
culture
yeah.
mixes the
Mhm,
music. And in Trinidad, there's a place called Paramin. It's a very mountainous village. So you have to drive to the bottom and then take a taxi. You remember them old SSMC vehicles? And then go into the back of one of those and
Land
then drive
Rover?
up. Yeah,
Mhm.
go into a Land
Mhm.
Rover and then
Mhm.
drive up to the top of the mountain, or at least the heights, to
You know,
experience and
I'm
enjoy
half
the
Trinidadian,
parang.
you know.
That's lovely. I love
Yeah.
Trinidad.
Mhm.
I think it's one of the only places in the Caribbean I could live. Other
Me too.
than St. Kitts,
I think
Trinidad.
me too. Yeah. And actually, it's funny
Comfortably, live
when I see
comfortably.
pictures, I get honestly, there's this weird thing
Mhm.
that business kind of connection type of thing. Funny. Call. Go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Hi.
Talking about the Christmas. When I was a kid, I look forward to, it wasn't Christmas until you smell that new linoleum going down. That homemade oven outside, you smell the cake outside in that pan baking. Your host said she didn't like the cleaning, but as kids we used to enjoy that because
you bake the cake outside?
I was like, you bake cake out?
The oven, remember the oven was made out of a pan.
Oh, it's like a Dutch oven.
We didn't have modern day oven. The oven was made out of I think it was an oil pan it was, where you put the fire on top and fire beneath, and and that's how the oven was. It wasn't a modern day oven. It was just a regular pan. They cut out and
Caribbean
made an oven
innovation. Caribbean innovation.
And that's when you smell that black cake baking in that.
Wow.
That was.
So
and one thing as a kid, as children, we used to look forward to is the only time you would get a malt or something for yourself. You wouldn't have to share. Because Mom would make sure she buy a case of malt, a case of this, a case, and it was the only time you get a soda, a malt for yourself. You didn't have to share it. It was around Christmas time. But those days was very special to us as kids. And what we used to look forward to is the men them coming to the village playing on the banjo and the pan, and as kids we would run behind them and follow them. So, oh my God. Kids today don't have no fun,
True. And
today don't have no fun. We used to have a ball.
That's awesome.
It was simple, but we used to enjoy ourselves. The children today don't have anything to look forward to. They're having no fun. Maybe we need to bring back some of those old time days so the children today will have a little history, so they can have a little bit of fun besides come from behind the TV and go outside. When last you see children pitching some marble? I have some knuckles, what we call them, knuckles? I have 2 knuckles in my cabinet up here in the U.S. The other day I take them out and I show my friends. I'm like, look at this what I have here. Remember we used to play knuckles? You need to go find some marble and go outside and play. Get dirty.
I remember those. When you had a Duke and Lixie, and I remember those. I wasn't very good at it, but I played.
Yeah, let's go to another call. Make sure you brought up a good topic. Caller, go right ahead. Hey. Okay.
Informative, very informative. Yes, those was the days, You only sometimes eat a nice good thing until the day you eat food to the ear, but until the day you're eating something special. And you know what I used to get, Azard? I used to make sure you get a new pair of slippers. That time Butter used to sell these white slippers, not speed ride, but a speed ride for the men, them, for the young ladies, them. A nice pair of white slippers like you're going to play tennis. So you got to get out. Yeah, you're not using your Sunday school shoes into town. You use them, the mother come to spoil them on Azard. Go up at least, I want 500 this. Oh my God. No way. When you say that box come, you feel so good, as the lady from Connor was just saying. You feel so good, and you also got your oil pan. And she was over a jump pan. Some people have a jump pan, right?
When you say oil pan, what do you mean? What kind of oil?
You also got when it's an oil pan, well, you also got some pan, we used to call them sausage pan, but maybe people give them short name with the oil pan. It was a good size pan, but not as high as the other one, right? The one was the oil that show. Oh yeah, the oil pan what you're talking about.
What kind of oil? You mean cooking oil?
Yeah, cooking oil pan. That's what you were saying when you said oil pan. I thought maybe it was on the sausage pan. Yeah. You used to go and beg that deal. You got to beg it all, Because in them days, a lot of poor people didn't have this modern day thing, everything. When it's certain people got this gas stove. You know, we miss to see a gas stove.
An oil
No
stove?
Huh?
You had an oil stove, auntie?
Well, in them days, I had a oil stove, but mine was like they called it a gas stove. So when my father used to do it, like it was a nice stove, like it burned just like the real gas stove.
Mm-hmm.
But they used to do it with putting must be alcohol in it also.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to burn nice man. Him used to call it
okay.
gas lamp and so. He used to
Okay.
go and had one named the gas lamp and he had one named the gas stove. And when you see that they burning, it burn fast, you cook your food faster than the fireplace, but you know, the people still used to love the fireplace.
I guess you use some kind of gas. Yeah.
And all kind of things. And as of them most days, we ain't got no days in nigger business. And I like now, so you're getting as the lady said, the feeling for Christmas, you see the arrows, them and the chain, feel. You know, some people used to change the pillows. So they go and pick the arrow, I like now, so because this is November, and by next month, you're ready to get them, you sun them, and you
What
put them
is
in the pillow.
arrows?
I think she means
Some arrows just go up
the
and
guinea
decay.
grass.
I don't know.
Oh,
reason
your
for that.
pillow was out of grass?
You know, arrow, like it's soft, like feather.
Oh,
We
your
call it
pillow
arrow.
was out of something that grew like a plant?
Yeah, let's grow like a plant, yeah, but it came from the cane field itself.
Okay.
Cane, yeah, it used to come from that, and people who want the pillow soft. And the next thing again, you have the prison there. If you ain't got one a bush bed at them, Azard, you got to start to pick your bush. You go by the oh my God, these children got so good and they're so, oh my God, why the parents don't tell the children them what how it was?
True.
You got to go push the bush, you see them fig book, them fig tree. You know the fig trees around, it's a banana tree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go and pick them there and sun them, let them come drying. If you put them in green, they used to say they will harbor the bugs and so. So you got to put joy them and you got to do a lot and you got them there from weeks and weeks trying.
Okay.
And you know that day.
Yeah, we have to take another call.
Huh?
Yeah.
Thank you very
yeah,
much, Auntie.
sorry
I
about
really
that.
appreciate it. I learned a lot.
Hello, go right ahead.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning.
One of the things which we are accustomed to, which seem to be slowly disappearing, is Christmas tree. I mean, everybody had to have one, to have one around Christmas. And a lot of times, us poorer folks would get what we call the sangwe tree. Those I've forgotten the biological name. Those pine trees that you see along the road that has those small pines, and use them as Christmas trees if you couldn't afford one. And I mean, you know that Rams and the other companies used to bring in lots of those, but not so much anymore. I don't know if people have switched to artificial or whatever.
We have an
I remember
artificial one, but maybe you're right. But I think when I visit people during Christmas, more often than not, I see a Christmas tree, which is good.
Okay, because I remember actually one time when I was studying in Canada, that this family thought it would be a great way to surprise me. They actually blindfolded me, walked me into the living room, and take off the blindfold, pointing at the tree. And there I was wondering what's the big surprise. And so they were surprised to know that we actually imported trees from North America to dress them up as Christmas trees. And they made a very important point. How come you don't use one of your own trees to celebrate Christmas rather than import them? Which, speaks to what you call that, cultural penetration or...
Yeah.
Appropriation.
Right. And so it's probably a good idea. That's one of the things which, it's although it's traditional, maybe we should change the tradition slightly and just have one of our indigenous trees.
I guess.
Okay.
But you passing over the one of the important points that they assume that you didn't know what a Christmas tree was.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It was a surprise to them, whereas they thought they were surprising me with this beautiful tree. You know, I'm there one day and what's this big surprise? And so they were surprised that you know, we actually went to the trouble of importing these trees all the way from North America to dress them up. You know.
Yeah, I think I saw some of them last year. I saw Rams bringing.
Yeah, they probably and one of the things I used to look forward to is burning the tree after. You know that smell.
The
That
nice
pine
smell, yeah, the pine smell.
Yeah, really nice smell.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah. Okay. Great. We just had a
Thank
call.
you very much
Yeah.
for sharing. I learned a lot again.
Yes.
I
9:29.
like the idea of lighting up an indigenous tree.
Yeah, it smells nice. Hey, well, the pine trees. Anyway, caller, go ahead. You're the last caller before our next segment. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hey, go right ahead. You're on.
Good morning.
Hey.
Just two little quick things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, young lady, you say you went up in the mountain in Trinidad?
Yes.
Trinidad ain't got no mountain.
Really?
That's not true.
Highest points in Trinidad are the Trinity Hills. They're not mountains. St. Kitts has mountain, Nevis, Dominica, etc. But I can't comment on some of the other things because you say time and you are
Trinidad has mountains. I've seen them.
Another day to
Brilliant
continue
forest
this
too.
conversation.
Yeah, they have
I'll
the
tell you
Carolina
something,
Mountains.
People in my area used to use the bamboo plants also for Christmas tree before these imported ones come around. But I leave that for now.
Okay, thank you very much, caller, for
Okay.
your input and engagement, and thank you especially for calling. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, so we got to take a quick break. It's 9:30. We were supposed to have a next segment coming up, and I'm gonna go hear from Rams and see if we can find our guest.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hey kids, drink healthy.
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. You want your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
9:32, and just letting you know we have a very special edition of Money Matters today at 10. It's in celebration of International Men's Day, which happened yesterday. So Professor Martin, Terrence Martin, he'll have a panel of men, and we'll be discussing men and money at 10 o'clock. Nice, huh? Mishi.
Hi,
Like-
fine. I
like
was
the music?
talking, but
Uh-huh.
I realized my mic was off. I find International Men's Day was quite blah. I find, like when we have Guy Fawkes, you give the little child a starlight. because it's safe. It's just like a sparkly light, but the light that bounces off, it doesn't hurt or harm them. I find International Men's Day, it was like so poorly celebrated.
Yeah, well, you know,
it was absolutely underwhelming.
You know, men get short shrift when it comes to these things. Father's Day, International Men's Day.
I
no one
think it's
cares.
because the women don't do Men's Day, and you guys just don't do it. So
Yeah,
it's a reflection of the quality of work that you put in to celebration or
well,
these sort of community
maybe we don't
engagement.
think it's that practical or that important.
Because for International Women's Day, we celebrate the whole month, and we encourage everybody on planet Earth to wear purple.
Is it purple for women? I
Yeah,
didn't realize that.
we wear purple. What color do men wear?
Blue.
Blue?
Yeah, that's why we had blue in here last few weeks. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning, Jamster.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. And good morning, Micheline.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, politics. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, you hearing me good?
Yeah, man.
All right, okay. No, I believe you're too young to know about the real cultural Christmas when we was coming up.
Insulting.
You're too young for that.
Teach me politics.
You know?
I'm willing to learn. Teach me.
Well, let me tell you something, right? My mom we used to make our own cake, black cake, plain cake, everything. The same kerosene pan they're talking about. But afterwards, we advance and get a jump pan and put in some grill in it. Just like on the barbecue. And they start to bake in them jump.
I can't imagine baking
their own bread and
outside.
all, their own bread. Back them time. You know, and you are just sorrel. You are just sorrel with a little, with some people to try rum in it. When you invite your friend and so come, the clown them pass and the masquerade them pass and so, and make a business pass in the community. My father will just give them a drink, sorrel and thing and cake and everything and give them.
Yeah.
That was with it because we always had animal. We always had animal. We butcher a pig, maybe a sheep and a goat. We have goat water. We have beer pork. We had everything. So when these guys pass, they get a treat. So everybody was glad to come play. My mother and my father home because when they come, they're gonna get something to eat, and they're gonna get a little rum to drink.
Awesome.
And that was them days. That was them days, man. You know that. Back in them time, right? You know, we are as children. We can't come tongue as we like. We ain't not much about coming to tongue on them things. Because our bus was very unlimited. And, you know, when the sport come in the country, we're glad to see masquerade come in the country and they play. And Big Jump come in the country and play nigga business, we're glad to see all of that. Anyway, I ain't gonna let some people want to come on the program and talk the program like stick my off in the air. When you are saying yes, okay, call it, this, talking. Michelle, you have a wonderful day. Jamta.
Yeah, what's up?
You take care, brother. Enjoy yourself.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you
man.
so much, politics.
Yeah. But you know, that's kind of shades of what happens in Trinidad where, you know, they go around doing the parang and then they get the puncheon and the pastel and the ham and so on. Which reminds me of a funny song. Crazy has a song where and this guy called Rembunction where it's really funny. He said if you don't have ham we can parang. So Crazy says you want me to riot, you come in talking about cabbage what? Cabbage and carrot. and,
Almost like a vegan Christmas.
and the other guy is a Rasta, so he's saying no ham in a Rastafari fridge. All he eat is fish.
What I love about Trinidad Christmas is I think this is when the tent starts opening as well for Carnival.
Yeah.
This is when the tent starts to open, so you could go to the different tents and the variety of calypso and kaiso tents. Oh my God!
I guess they sing the parang like maybe the parang track.
No,
so
they
performance
do
live
parang. Sometimes they do parang, but they do a lot of I like the social commentary. So you could go to a smutty calypso tent, you could go to a funny calypso tent, you could go to a police calypso tent. And I live for Mrs. Holdip. She was, stationed in St. Kitts for quite a number of time.
Oh, yeah, I knew that name sounded familiar.
And when I lived there, I went to her house quite often. And she is a carnival baby. And so, we were up and down at different tents. She would take me to different tents, different cultural events. And because she loved carnival and she loved culture, her children play. We get to go to the mass camp. We get to go to different carnival cultural events. I really enjoyed for the years that I lived in Trinidad, carnival there. I lived in Antigua for some years as well, but I was very young. I don't remember much of it. But I like Niaga business. For those in the community of the elder, I want you to call some names and tell me some stories about Niaga business. I remember Thunder from Market Street, right there where Mary Shop is. But I'm sure there was a generation who did Niaga business before him.
That person.
Niaga business is when I will fast, and I fast because I like to write. So, you have to read and you have to mind people business or observe because it informs your writing, your character, everything.
Call, go right ahead.
Yeah, listening to Michelina. Good morning.
Good morning, Sylvie. How are you, darling?
You really like people business.
From young.
We had a lady at the center. She was a blind lady, right? She passed Dawes. She said, Miss Henry, I'm a businesswoman, And I said naive, I wonder, what kind of business you have? People business. And she really was, she had the latest.
Niaga business?
Latest, She said, well, how you know? Well, we just sit down, those who come down, we sit down around the tank, Stapleton, and they try everybody.
Oh, God.
Now, all of us who went Sunday school, we look forward to Christmas. You're going to have the program, so you get your recitation early. You have to go and say your recitation, sing the carols, and then you get presents who come the most time in the class, and you look forward to it, and you get treats.
Ooh, Sunday school, Christmas.
Yeah, man. All like who go gospel, all they used to give the children like clothes items,
How much Sunday school you used to go to, Sylvie?
Just two.
Which one?
Brother Connor. Before they come Baptist, eh?
That was when there was Anglican?
Eh?
When he was Anglican?
Well, it was Anglican then in the 50s and 60s until they changed the church.
Okay.
But it was kept in what we call the black and white lodge, which should have been a monument.
Yeah, I know where it was.
I like that question you asked.
Opposite the Patsy Allah's.
Yes,
ground,
I know where it is.
School.
Yeah, there is nothing there right now, but that's where before
the church
I think that somebody took down the building. I don't know if they put up.
Before
there.
Pastor Connor was a Baptist, he was an Anglican.
Oh, really?
Well,
Okay.
yeah,
He came from the Anglican
he was the
church.
Anglican sexton,
He came from the Anglican church.
That's what he was. He was the sexton for the Anglican church for years, for decades, you could say.
Oh.
So, but he was keeping things, Bible class, and so that wasn't Anglican. That was on his own, even though he had the Anglican Sunday school. So we grew up in it in the village. It was a very large Sunday school. And then when he became Baptist, we continued. I was going to the Methodist at the same time. Now the worm story come from flies, eh? It's actually fly larva.
Okay.
The worm them did not generate family meat itself. So that's where you had to put it where the flies and them couldn't settle on it.
I'll put a plastic or cloth over it?
No, it will cause it to sweat.
I don't know.
The aim was to the aim was to preserve the pork. And you got corn pork and rice. It tastes very good.
I never saw it though.
To our family neighbors. But we used to kill a pig. Up to last night, I was talking to my brother. You never eat so much food, drink so much sorrel and ginger beer. Man, your mother she cooked for Christmas Day. After that, no cooking till in the next year.
Till January?
Like the cake. And then you buy a couple case of bison
and maybe a case of malt for the big people. And they buy rich ruby, rich ruby wine.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That's poor people, top class, top shelf.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time of day they allow you to, as a child, to drink alcohol was the wine. And the boys would try a beer, But it used to be so interesting. Food can done. We used to grow sorrel. My father had grown sorrel and pigeon peas. You tired shell peas.
I remember
when your
shelling
mother
peas.
cooking rice, it was peas and rice.
My great grandmother had a grung.
A peas patch.
No, she had a grung up in. She lived Stapleton. Annie Charles from Stapleton, and she. Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like going to the market. I had to do a lot of that stuff. But
Yeah, man, and picking the sorrel was the worst, because centipede. Sometimes
Okay,
centipede
Sylvie.
is the sorrel. You ever see that?
Sylvie,
Okay,
we have
Sylvie,
to
we
wrap
have to
up
go. We
now.
have-
Okay, we have some guests in the studio.
Okay, so we have our Truth of Christ guests. They were supposed to be here at 9:30.
Here, you're going to be directly sharing the camera with me. So
Okay,
whoever
guys,
is the
come,
leader,
just
you
take a
sit
seat.
here, and then we can sit around.
And don't forget, folks, coming up at 10 o'clock, we have Money Matters, a very special edition. It's all about international.
Just this, right?
It's all about International Men's Day. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we have our new guests. It's the Truth of Christ, guys.
You
Hey guys.
cannot be commanded.
Okay, so introduce yourselves.
Good morning and welcome to the studio. We have a familiar face and a new face I'm going to get to know.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us. Do you want me to introduce the organization
Please
first?
do.
Okay, so we are the Truth of Christ Israelites.
Mhm.
Okay, we're locally based, homegrown, right? We have been doing ministry for about 5 years now.
Mhm.
And as the name would imply, we teach the truth of Christ.
Mhm.
Right. So myself, my name is Messiah, Captain Messiah. To my right, I have Colonel Wallace. To my left. To my far left, I have another soldier with me, Soldier Zion. All right, just a few of the brothers, all right, coming to represent TOC, Truth of Christ.
Okay, so could you tell me about the doctrine that informs Truth of Christ?
Right, but before I do so, let me just give a little overview on our vision statement.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so our vision statement, right, it's to restore the nation and gather God's chosen people by the teaching of repentance through the keeping of God's laws to acquire the promise of obtaining the kingdom. That is our vision, that is our purpose, that is what we have been sent and commissioned to do.
Could you say it one more time? for
Sure,
me?
absolutely. It's to restore the nation and gather God's chosen people by teaching repentance through the keeping of God's laws to acquire the promise of obtaining the kingdom.
The promise is obtaining the kingdom, and to obtain the kingdom, you must follow God's laws.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's the most important law?
Well-
If there is a most important one.
Okay, well, I'll paraphrase. I won't go to the scripture. The Pharisees actually asked Christ the same question. What's the most important law? And Christ told them that all the law hangs on love for God and love for your neighbor. But he didn't say the law was abolished, nor did he say all the other laws were null and void. He said all the laws hang on those two premises.
Love for God,
And love for your neighbor.
As you love yourself. The measure of loving your neighbor must be for love for yourself.
So now what we must do now is go to the definition, the biblical definition of love. And I will read that for the audience, all right? Let's go to the book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. All right? 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. Because We must go to the biblical definition because we don't want our opinions. We don't want, well, I feel like love is this, or I think love is this, or, I have a gut feeling that this is love. Because for some people, love is subjective. Love may be candies and teddy bears and cotton candy, and for other persons, it may be something else. But let's hear what the Bible says. 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. All right?
There's a Bible in studio. I like it.
Reading from the book of 1 John, chapter 3.
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5, sorry. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see.
Wait, stop. Is that 1 John?
First John.
Correct.
John.
1 John.
John 5 and verse 3. Reading from the book of 1 John, chapter 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
This is the what?
For this is the love of God.
So we don't want to know about my love, your love, this person's love, because everyone's love is subjective. We want to know about the love of God. What does God say love is? Read it again.
For this is the love of God.
This is the love of God.
That we keep his commandments.
That we keep his commandments. So love, in essence, is keeping God's commandments. Very simple. The Bible has always been about the commandments. And that's what we're here to defend. That's what we're here to stand up for. That's what we're here in our federation saying to our people who are the Israelites, you must keep God's laws. You must keep the commandments because that is love. And you would see more love in the communities. You would see more acts of love and more service of love if people were actually focused on keeping the commandments and not keeping church. Because keeping church, I'll make a bold statement, has not gotten us anywhere after all these years. We're keeping church. And that's why you will continue to see an upsurge in crime and violence and different types of acts of hatred against one another. Because we're not taught what is love. It's keeping the commandments.
And so what commandments are you referring to specifically? The Mosaic laws?
All of them. Because when you read the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, it's always been about the commandments. All of them. However, I must make this statement for some people who may be wondering, are they sacrificing animals? No, we're not. Because when Christ came, he was a sacrifice. So he nullified that part of the law. So we still keep sacrifice, but they're spiritual sacrifices now, right? Mm-hmm. So your spiritual sacrifice is that you give your life to the truth, which is God's laws. That's your sacrifice now.
And so Christ came and he died, and so he became a living sacrifice. And so we say, in the name of Jesus, by the blood of the Lamb. What's the position of grace?
The position of grace. Let's get that. Let's get Titus chapter 2 and verse 11. Great question. Let's find out what's the purpose of grace.
Because
what is grace?
a lot of us in the very religious area, we say, well, I don't have to abide so much by the law because Christ came and there was grace.
We'll explain that. Good.
Reading from the book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 11. For the grace of God.
For the what?
For the grace of God.
So we're speaking about grace. What's its purpose? What's its functionality? Let's find out what's the purpose of grace.
That bringeth salvation had appeared to all men.
So grace is supposed to bring you salvation. It's a mechanism that will bring you to salvation. It's not a mechanism, for you to continue breaking the commandments. It's a mechanism that brings you to salvation. Let's find out how it brings you to salvation.
Teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lusts.
So grace is a time period for you to learn about godliness, which is anything that is against sin. Come on.
Worldly lusts.
For you to deny worldly lusts.
Live soberly.
For you to live soberly.
Righteously.
Now to live righteously. So grace, your grace period. Like for instance, I'll give a very simple allegory. If Skelec comes to your house and says, listen, We've been commissioned to turn off your lights. However, if you go down by the office right now and pay some of the bill or do a payment arrangement
Payment plan.
or payment plan,
Mm-hmm.
you can keep the lights on. You have a grace period. However, does the grace period allow you to just continue running up the bill?
I think if the lights
Or do you
on-
have to pay it?
So, the grace period, if your lights is not off, you're running up the bill by de facto. However, you have within that time period is like probation. When you get a new job, your grace period, your probation period is 3 months. After 3 months, the employer has a right to take you on. According to the law, they don't have to take you on, but after 3 months, you become.
Absolutely.
For me, grace is, and I'm not a member of the Church of the Truth of Christ Truth of Christ Restoring the Nation. For me, grace is, Lord, I'm trying. I failed. Don't condemn me to hell and damnation. And I think the human experience is that some of us are willful to commit sin. Some of us commit sin while striving to live a godly life. And for me, it's about intention. So an elder and I, she's about 80 something, we were having a fight recently. And I said to her, you hurt my feelings and I think you should apologize. And she said, no, I'm too old and I don't have to apologize to you because you're a young whippersnapper. And I was like, and I wanted to let her have it, and I wasn't speaking to her for a few, we were at it. And I got a conviction yesterday, and I said, but she's an elder. You give her the grace because of her age to not apologize. You pray about it, and you leave her alone. And I went and I prayed about it, and I left her alone. I loved on her. And she said, come give me a hug. And that's all the sorry she could offer me. That was her grace. She's not telling me sorry because I don't have to tell you nothing. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to accept it. If this is how sorry comes, I'm going to give you grace that this is the sorry. It's not the verbalization that I want, but this is a good enough concession. So I think, yes, grace is a time period, but I like to think about Christ the intercessor calling my name and saying, oh God, Michelina trying. Thank you guys very much, and I do invite you to come back again as it pleases you.
Absolutely.
So we could have more time for the discussion. It's a very important discussion, and I see the movement is growing in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for having us.
You're welcome.
4 minutes until 10 o'clock. Don't forget, coming up at 10 o'clock, we have a very special edition of Money Matters with Dr. Terrence Martin. And it's all about International Men's Day. That was yesterday, but it's still alive. So we're going to have a very special panel, Men and Money.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put a Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum.